You're listening to the Spark Radio Network, Internet radio like you've never heard before. Innovation, creativity, and imagination are all said to begin with a spark. So fasten your seatbelt and take the ride of your life and listen for the spark.
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
Most writers and radio show hosts know that to connect with your fans, you need to do more than just write books or record the latest podcasts. There are many different elements that go into forming an online platform, but there are also many hidden traps. To make matters worse, solid advice on how to survive the muddy waters is scarce. In the book Hidden Traps, I talk about some of the important issues of working with an online platform, highlighting traps that could put your physical or internet security at risk or be harmful to your reputation. Are your social media posts just links with a few disjointed words, making you look like someone who can't complete a sentence? Did your new website cost you more than you anticipated? Are you leaking your personal contact details across the web without even knowing it? Then you need Hidden Traps. Hidden Traps is now available in paperback and ebook from a variety of retailers, including Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Kobo. Visit blackwolfpublications.com for more details.
If you're 85 or younger, would you like peace of mind and comfort for your family? We're Final Expense Direct with an urgent message for you. The average funeral today costs over $8,000, but the most you'll get from government benefits is $255. How will your family pay the difference? We can help. Our senior plans start as low as just $1 a day and pay up to $30,000 for a funeral and other final expenses. Peace of mind is easy. There's no medical exam. You'll have lifetime coverage, and your plan can't be canceled as long as you pay your premiums. Call now for free information about our senior plans. Answer a few simple questions and receive approval right on the phone. Plus, call right now and we'll give you a discount prescription card for free. Call 800-553-8687. That's 800-553-8687. Again, 800-553-8687.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
Attention business owners and independent contractors. This is a money-saving message from Tax Mediation Services. If your business owes $20,000 or more in taxes, we can help you today, right now. Listen, dealing with the IRS is no picnic. It's an intimidating and extremely stressful process, and you don't want to go it alone. Our attorneys know every law, every tax break, and every possible opportunity to help you resolve and reduce your tax debt. And if you owe more than $20,000, you may be at the top of their hit list. So don't take your tax debt lightly, because it will not go away on its own. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, your home, and even shut down your business. Call our tax experts today at 1-800-783-0810 and let us deal with the IRS while you focus on your business. That's 1-800-783-0810. Again, that's 800-783-0810.
My son was in the Army back during Desert Storm, but even then he wanted an MBA. He looked at a dozen schools, but only one offered the online education and flexibility he needed while he was in a tent in Iraq. Grantham University. Turns out that Grantham's been delivering affordable, relevant college and advanced degrees for over 65 years. Heck, if they can deliver a quality education to a soldier in a tent overseas, think about the flexibility Grantham can offer you so you can earn your degree too. It doesn't matter how complicated or full your life is. If getting a degree is on your bucket list, you'll want to do what my son did. You'll want to call Grantham. Find out how easy it is to get started on your education so you can check that college degree off your bucket list. Call Grantham right now. 800-910-1370. That's 800-910-1370. Flexible, affordable, relevant. Call 800-910-1370.
Sometimes writers feel lost, unsure why a passage may not be working. It takes another set of eyes to help us nurture our writing into full maturity. At Black Wolf Editorial Services, we strive to enable writers to develop and grow, offering manuscript critiques and line edits through a mentoring editorial style. We also offer assistance on generating a writer's bio for your websites. Black Wolf Editorial Services, nurturing your writing into maturity. For a full list of services, visit blackwolfeditorial.com.
You're listening to the Spark Radio Network, internet radio like you've never heard before. Innovation, creativity, and imagination are all said to begin with a spark. So fasten your seatbelt and take the ride of your life and listen for the spark.
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
My name is Jessie, and I'm proud of the life I have, surrounded by military and aware just how big the world really is. I have a unique perspective on life and the world around us. If you're willing to listen, I'll tell you how I see it, and I won't pull any punches. This is my POV, which stands for Point of View. Alright, how's everybody doing out there tonight? Yes, I miss you when we're not talking. For those of you who are regular listeners to my show, you will know 11 p.m. Eastern is not my normal time slot. In fact, it's normally the time slot of none other than Rowdy Rick Robinson. Well, he's not feeling so hot tonight, and when I realized that the Korean Summit was starting just as I was going on the air, and I knew this hour was open or being filled with a replay, I said, I'm stealing it just for tonight. What did this allow and why did I do it? Well, it gave me time to catch some of the information that is coming out of Panmunjom, the Peace Village, or the DMZ. Because there's quite a bit going on. Now, a lot of it is pomp and circumstance. A lot of it is fluff and stuff. However, for the first time since the 1950-1953 war, a North Korean leader has stepped on South Korean soil. But wait. South Korean President Moon stepped onto North Korean soil as well. Yes, you don't realize how groundbreaking this is. Yes, I know he was just across the border. It was a few moments. He was maybe 2 feet into North Korea. I get it. But he was standing in North Korea. And Kim Jong-un, no North Korean leader, has set foot in South Korea since the war. But what about the previous summits? They were always held in Pyongyang, the capital of North Korea. So the North Koreans didn't have to come south. And that's the way it stayed for many a long year. Now, this past year, you've heard me discuss. You've heard me discuss on many occasions the North and South, the tension on the Korean Peninsula. Talk about relief valve. This was a huge one. It's been more than a decade since these two countries have met. And it was amazing. Now, the two South Korean officials are expected, the two countries are, according to South Korean officials, because North Korea doesn't put out press releases until they're finalized, so they don't leak, are expected to release a joint statement on Friday. Now, before the summit, Kim Jong-un, who I'm just going to refer to either as KJU or Kim, stopped to sign a guest book in South Korea's Peace House. Now, let's first explain the Peace House. The Peace House is a building that was built at Panmunjom, a city inside the DMZ, for peace talks, peace negotiations. But this is the first time it's ever been used. And let me tell you, no detail was too small. No detail was too small. And you're sitting here looking at me like, what do you mean no detail? Well, the table was specially constructed just for this summit, and it's an oval-shaped table meant to represent two bridges crossing, or two bridges meeting. And it's a lovely oval-shaped wooden table, but the significance of it is amazing. Now, but I thought what Kim Jong-un wrote in the book, the guest book, at the Peace House was also remarkable. Now, of course, he wrote in Korean. A new history starts now, an age of peace, from the starting point of history. So, that's pretty amazing. It really is. Remember, these two countries are still technically, and yes, I will reinforce this, and I know my regular listeners have heard this many, many times. These two countries are still technically at war. And that's why when North Korea even wanted to send athletes to the South Korean Olympics, there was a whole negotiation process that you didn't see with any other country. That's why this is so historic and this is groundbreaking. Now, I do have some concerns about the Korean Summit. However, it is quite probably laying the groundwork for the summit, the meeting that will take place between Korea and North Korea, and the United States. Now, they do have a press center set up. It does not, that I can find, have its own website. All right, and we are talking a stadium-sized building. The media center is in Gyeongyang, and it's 45 minutes away by car from the center of Seoul. It can accommodate up to 3,000 media personnel. More than 2,800 journalists from 41 countries and regions applied to use the press center. Now, what makes this different was that the two previous summits in 2000 and 2007, which, like I previously said, were held in Pyongyang. Only 1,300 media personnel registered. Now, while the press center is well equipped, a lot of journalists are pretty frustrated. There hasn't been a lot of news yet. But we don't know what is going to become of it. And I am going to stress, while they may leave the table today with nothing concrete, they may leave Panmunjom today without a concrete agreement. This summit today could lay the foundation for future summits. And I know some of you are going, yeah, so what? Well, remember, these two countries are still technically at war. So anything we can do to help them achieve peace is a monumental step in the right direction. Okay, these two countries have technically been at war for longer than many people on both sides of the Korean Peninsula have been alive. Now that I've set the scene for you, what are they going to be talking about? Okay, because I know that's the big part. It is fairly high stakes. I mean, there are three key topics on the agenda: the denuclearization of the Korean Peninsula, the improvement of bilateral relations, and a formal peace settlement. Now, there is talk of reopening the Kaesong Industrial Complex. However, that may not be possible at this time. And here's why. Here's why. The UN sanctions may prohibit it, because there are literally dozens of sanctions on North Korea. Remember, just for example, when the North Korean athletes were being fed in South Korea, no American products were allowed to be used because it would violate our sanctions on North Korea. That's how touchy this whole situation is. Are you getting this yet? Are you getting the severity of this and the miraculousness of it? I mean, when I say this is historic, I try not to throw those words around lightly. I try really hard to pick and choose my moments to use that verbiage. Because I don't like to blow something out of proportion. And if they can at least, the other issue that will be brought up, and I guarantee you it will, there are still families that have been divided by the Korean War. There are still people alive who remember their relatives who they haven't seen since the war started or during the war. And these people are in their 70s or older. They are wanting a chance to meet their relatives or reunite with their loved ones before they pass. And that's why this is probably giving those elderly Koreans on both sides of the demilitarized zone hope. All right. Now that symbolic move of Moon joining Kim on the northern side of the line was not lost on many, many people. This is a sight that is rare. All right. Now, let me give you a rundown on the schedule and who's in each one of these parties, because there's quite the conglomerate of cast of characters here. Now, the leaders of North and South Korea are definitely going to sign some kind of statement. What the news would be, did they sign a peace treaty? Are they negotiating one? And that would be monumental. And trust me, those words Kim Jong-un wrote in that book were planned. They were planned. There was no accident to anything that is being done. Remember, North Korea is one of the countries that is a spin doctor of spin doctors. Now, the fact that Kim Jong-un stepped onto South Korean soil and then President Moon walked back over with him to North Korean soil briefly, and then they crossed back together literally hand in hand, I don't know how to stress this any further. It's huge! All right? It's huge. Now, we don't know to what extent they're going to talk to denuclearization, and here's why. They may be able to confirm the intent, but they realize, both leaders realize, that the United States needs to be involved in any complete discussion of denuclearization. So, and by the way, Kim Jong-un walked across what's known as the military demarcation line, or the MDL, or the 38th parallel, the actual border between buildings labeled T2 and T3. They are used as the meeting rooms of the Military Armistice Commission, or the MAC Commission. By the way, the T stands for temporary. These buildings were never meant to stand for as long as they are. Now, they're doing the morning schedule, and then they will hold separate lunches and a brief break. And Kim Jong-un will go back to North Korea during the break. Then they'll resume talks in the afternoon after a tree planting ceremony and a stroll along the military demarcation line. The two leaders will plant a pine tree, which stands for peace and prosperity, on the military demarcation line. Now, I know all the pictures you see on the news are of the concrete section from the demilitarized zone. There is soil that's usually off camera. Now, let's talk about the tree. And I know you guys are going, so what? All right, the pine tree stands for peace and prosperity. Soil from South Korea's Mount Hala and North Korea's Mount Paktu will be used to plant the tree. After which, Kim Jong-un will water the tree with water from the South Han River, and Moon will pour water from the North Daedong River. And then they're going to have their afternoon talks. At 6:30 p.m., President Moon and Kim Jong-un will take part in a welcoming banquet in the Peace House, which will be attended by all officials from both sides. And each side has 9 officials. Now, let me stress, there are no plans. Zero. Not a whisper, not a rumor. It's not in the cards. Unless something goes cattywampus. Something I can't even fathom at this moment. For the summit to be extended. I can't even picture that one, friends. We've had a hard enough time getting them together. I don't think they're going to hang around together any longer than they have to. Now, we are almost at the bottom of the hour. So, I've got about 2 minutes. I'm going to take the commercial break just a bit early. And when I come back, we will discuss the delegations from both sides. And who they are. And what their importance is. And yes, one of the delegates is the same person who personally delivered the message from North Korea to President Trump. That and so much more when after we pay these radio station bills, my friends. And remember, you can always follow me on Twitter at Radio Host Jesse. And you can email me at the station at jessie'spov@klrnradio.com. I will see you all on the other side.
You're listening to the Spark Radio Network, Internet radio like you've never heard before. Innovation, creativity, and imagination are all said to begin with a spark. So fasten your seatbelt and take the ride of your life and listen for the spark.
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
Most writers and radio show hosts know that to connect with your fans, you need to do more than just write books or record the latest podcasts. There are many different elements that go into forming an online platform, but there are also many hidden traps. To make matters worse, solid advice on how to survive the muddy waters is scarce. In the book Hidden Traps, I talk about some of the important issues of working with an online platform, highlighting traps that could put your physical or internet security at risk or be harmful to your reputation. Are your social media posts just links with a few disjointed words, making you look like someone who can't complete a sentence? Did your new website cost you more than you anticipated? Are you leaking your personal contact details across the web without even knowing it? Then you need Hidden Traps. Hidden Traps is now available in paperback and ebook from a variety of retailers, including Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Kobo. Visit blackwolfpublications.com for more details.
If you're 85 or younger, would you like peace of mind and comfort for your family? We're Final Expense Direct with an urgent message for you. The average funeral today costs over $8,000, but the most you'll get from government benefits is $255. How will your family pay the difference? We can help. Our senior plans start as low as just $1 a day and pay up to $30,000 for a funeral and other final expenses. Peace of mind is easy. There's no medical exam. You'll have lifetime coverage, and your plan can't be canceled as long as you pay your premiums. Call now for free information about our senior plans. Answer a few simple questions and receive approval right on the phone. Plus, call right now and we'll give you a discount prescription card for free. Call 800-553-8687. That's 800-553-8687. Again, 800-553-8687.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
Attention business owners and independent contractors. This is a money-saving message from Tax Mediation Services. If your business owes $20,000 or more in taxes, we can help you today, right now. Listen, dealing with the IRS is no picnic. It's an intimidating and extremely stressful process, and you don't want to go it alone. Our attorneys know every law, every tax break, and every possible opportunity to help you resolve and reduce your tax debt. And if you owe more than $20,000, you may be at the top of their hit list. So don't take your tax debt lightly, because it will not go away on its own. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, your home, and even shut down your business. Call our tax experts today at 1-800-783-0810 and let us deal with the IRS while you focus on your business. That's 1-800-783-0810. Again, that's 800-783-0810.
My son was in the Army back during Desert Storm, but even then he wanted an MBA. He looked at a dozen schools, but only one offered the online education and flexibility he needed while he was in a tent in Iraq. Grantham University. Turns out that Grantham's been delivering affordable, relevant college and advanced degrees for over 65 years. Heck, if they can deliver a quality education to a soldier in a tent overseas, think about the flexibility Grantham can offer you so you can earn your degree too. It doesn't matter how complicated or full your life is, if getting a degree is on your bucket list, you'll want to do what my son did. You'll want to call Grantham. Find out how easy it is to get started on your education so you can check that college degree off your bucket list. Call Grantham right now, 800-910-1370. That's 800-910-1370. Flexible, affordable, relevant. Call 800-910-1370.
Sometimes riders feel lost, unsure why a passage may not be working. It takes another set of eyes to help us nurture our writing into full maturity. At Black Wolf Editorial Services, we strive to enable writers to develop and grow, offering manuscript critiques and line edits through a mentoring editorial style. We also offer assistance on generating a writer's bio for your websites. Black Wolf Editorial Services, nurturing your writing into maturity. For a full list of services, visit blackwolfeditorial.com.
Alright, thank y'all for hanging in there with me while we paid those radio station bills. Now, I do have something new to report from the peninsula. Yeah, Korea is a peninsula. But that's not what I have to... Official talks end after nearly 2 hours. We don't know how long they were scheduled for. No one released the end time. But the talks did come to an end after approximately 2 hours. Now, Kim Jong-un, let's talk about his foreign policy for just a minute, is attempting to shift his policy focus to lift the North's economy and amid brisk diplomacy in hopes of sanctions relief and security assurances. During the plenary Central Committee meeting of the North's ruling Workers' Party, Kim vowed to focus on boosting the economy while suspending the nuclear and missile tests and closing an atomic experiment facility. Now, Pakistan did 6 tests. Now, Korea might not be there, but would you? I know I'd guard it. Now, I have no idea if the talks were supposed to exceed 2 hours. Another thing that may have come up was one or more leaders may have wanted to break to discuss something with their advisors. Like I said, we are all speculating. Now, sorry for that pause. I'm looking for an audio clip. I want to remind you of some of the rhetoric that has gone back and forth. In fact, let me see if I can find my mashup. I know I've got it. I know I've got it. Just give me just a moment to locate it. What makes it such one of those perfect vehicles is because it's a good 27 compilation. It's a good 2017 compilation of basically the year in review with dealing with North Korea. So it is kind of one of those, yeah, it's a good place to start. All right, let's take a listen to how the rhetoric sounded in 2017.
So we have 20 years of failed approach.
The regime has shown time and again that it doesn't want to talk. North Korea's launch of an ICBM is a clear and sharp military escalation. North Korea does not want to be part of a peaceful world. His abusive use of missiles and his nuclear threats show that he is begging for war. I said the days of talking were over, and it was time to act.
North Korea best not make any more threats to the United States. They will be met with fire and fury like the world has never seen.
I have no problem kicking it to General Mattis because I think he has plenty of options.
General?
Well, I don't know if those missiles can actually hit what they're aimed at, but like horseshoes and hand grenades, getting close is all that's needed when you're dealing with nuclear weapons.
Has he given up a first strike possibility? Secretary Mattis?
No, sir.
Any use of nuclear weapons by the North will be met with a massive military response, effective and overwhelming. Make no mistake, any attack on the United States or our allies will be defeated.
All right, so there was my mashup. And yes, it was a mashup I made of 2017 clips. And it pretty well summed up what was a very rough year. And for those of you who were listening last night, and I was looking for an Admiral Harris clip, here you go.
Would we be able to take out their artillery aimed at Seoul?
I believe that we would have the ability to affect North Korea's military calculus in preemptive strikes, depending on the type of strike. But I'm really treading on.
He didn't want to go any further because of divulging the potential for divulging classified information. That was Admiral Harris, and remember, he has been named to be the diplomat for South Korea. And actually, he's been named to be the envoy. Excuse me. So, he's actually set to go to Australia, but Pompeo's going, no. He needs to go to South Korea. And so Trump did nominate Admiral Harry Harris, that man whose voice you just heard, to be the U.S. ambassador to South Korea. That man is a very wise man when it comes to all this, because, let me discuss this briefly and then we'll get to the players. I know I have 15 minutes left. But Admiral Harris has a very unique military career. And he has spent time on the Korean Peninsula. He did anti-terrorism stuff. He's done Joint Task Force, Guantanamo, U.S. Southern Command, Deputy Chief of Naval Operations, Commander of the 6th Fleet, Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Commander of the Pacific Fleet, and Pacific Fleet Command, to name a few of his more distinguished postings. And I can assure you, this man has spent time on the Korean Peninsula. I can guarantee you that. And I'm hoping this is one nomination the Senate doesn't hold up. Because I'm sorry, we need him. In fact, Admiral Harris received the Tong-il National Defense Medal from South Korea in 2014. And that is the Republic of Korea's highest national security merit citation. Okay? And that's at his time when he was Pacific Fleet Commander. And it's called U.S. PACCOM, or PACCOM for short. And he has repeatedly called North Korea the biggest threat to security in Asia. So while this is something about a day old, I wanted to bring it up. Alright, now, the players. Kim Jong-nam, Y-O-N-G. Not the guy that was assassinated, Kim Jong-nam. This one's Yang. He is the nominal head of state. He played a major role in steering Seoul and Pyongyang to a peace mood. This is the guy behind the scenes. The guy you don't hear about. Kim Jo-jong. That is the younger sister of Kim Jong-un, Kim Yo-jong. She is the one who came to the Pyeongchang Winter Olympics and delivered Kim Jong-un's handwritten message to President Moon. So she's pretty key. Kim Young-chol, Vice Chairman of the ruling Workers' Party of Korea. He's known to be another powerful elite in Pyongyang. He took a lead part in bringing spring to the Korean Peninsula after his visit during the Pyeongchang Winter Olympics. He was also a chief negotiator during the 2006 and 2008 inter-Korean talks, but he comes with a warning label. He has been labeled as the most dangerous North Korean general by South Korea because he was in charge of the Reconnaissance General Bureau when a South Korean naval ship was attacked in 2010. And I am discussing the sinking of the Chosun. Cho Hui, Vice Party Chairman and Chief National of the National Sports Party. He was part of the high-level delegation T and the Olympics Pyeongchang high-level delegation and T that accompanied the Pyeongchang Winter Olympics. And trust me, sports-related policies play a big deal in North Korea. Sports-related policies play a huge role. In North Korean policy. So let's move on. Si Sang-kwan. He is the chairman for the peaceful reunification of the country. He is also known as the right-hand man of that most dangerous general, Kim Young-chol. And Ri was the chief delegate of North Korea during the first high-level talks between the two Koreas in January. So, now he has walked out on talks in the past. Ri Mong-soo is the chief of the General Staff of the Korean People's Army. He started his career during the Korean War. He is 84 years old. He was previously responsible for the daily operational management of the DPRK, which is a Democratic People's Republic of Korea, which is North Korea's official title, Naval, Ground, Air, and Anti-Air Forces. Translation: he's their equivalent of a Secretary of State, but he wears a military rank. Ri Young-ho, North Korea's foreign minister, aka their Secretary of State. He's known as a skillful negotiator. Now, we got two more. Ri Soo-young, Vice Party Chairman on International Affairs, basically Assistant Secretary of State. He's the one in talks with the U.S. and known as one of the most influential people when it comes to making decisions. Then, you have Park Young-sik. He is the Minister of North Korea's Armed Forces. Notice the heavy military focus. And yes, I'm aware of how much time I spent on the North Korean crew, because we only have descriptions for some of the entourage from South Korea's delegation. Chung I-young, National Security Advisor. He visited Pyongyang earlier this year as an envoy. He is regarded in South Korea as the mastermind behind the inter-Korean rapprochement. Chung was also the one who personally delivered Kim's message to President Trump at the White House last month. And while I'm reading this, I'm going to see if I've got the audio clip from that. Alright. Moving right along. Soo Han, National Intelligence Service Director, deeply involved with the summit. Foreseeing this summit along with Chung. Media reports say he also helped coordinate the deal through close consultations with his American counterpart, the director of the Central Intelligence Agency. And yes, I found the audio from that statement at the White House. Let's take a listen.
Good evening. Today I have the privilege of briefing President Trump on my recent visit to Pyongyang, North Korea. I'd like to thank President Trump, the Vice President, and his wonderful national security team, including my close friend, General McMaster. I explained to President Trump that his leadership and his maximum pressure policy, together with international solidarity, brought us to this juncture. I expressed President Moon Jae-in's personal gratitude for President Trump's leadership. I told President Trump that in our meeting, North Korean leader Kim Jong-un said he is committed to denuclearization. Kim pledged that North Korea will refrain from any further nuclear or missile tests. He understands that the routine joint military exercises between the Republic of Korea and the United States must continue. And he expressed his eagerness to meet President Trump as soon as possible. President Trump appreciated the briefing and said he would meet Kim Jong-un by May to achieve permanent denuclearization.
Alright, I'm going to stop the statement right there because it does go on and I still have a few more names to get to. Unification Minister, Cho Myong-gon. He participated in both 2000 and 2007 Inter-Korean Summits and played a key role in the preparation for the current summit. Im Young-suk, Presidential Chief of Staff, basically the closest aide to President Moon. Now, Im has been criticized by the opposition as left-leaning and pro-North, and for steering South Korea dangerously closer to the communist Pyongyang. Now, Song Young-moo is also present. He's the defense minister for South Korea. Kang Kyung-hwa, foreign minister. Jong Kyung-do, chairman of the Joint Chiefs, who was recently added to the list. North Korea's choice, official entourage choice, shows their consideration for further talks. Especially when it comes to the denuclearization. So, I've heard the saying many times, the meeting can often be decided by who's in the room. Okay? Now, both leaders have made, quote, vows to make serious steps at the summit. But, bear in mind, probably playing to the domestic gallery, and Kim probably wanted to position as a normal socialist state. So, for the domestic audit, take on the president of Asia's fourth largest economy. Now, you have to remember to view everything that happens during this summit through three lenses. North Korean domestic audience, South Korean domestic audience, and international read US. As a reminder, you can always follow me on Twitter at Radio Host Jesse. You can email me at the station at jessespov@klrnradio.com. And on that note, folks, I'm gone.